All I was going to do was go over the matchup again really quickly.
Hit it.
But you have really up close and personal Sho versus very mobile, neutral-centric Yukari. Sho's gonna want to get in a lot. He's gonna want to stay in. Yukari is going to want to keep him out and find moments to safely get in on him. His DP is an issue for her because she's really airborne. She's in the air a lot. A lot of her greatest options come from the air, but her ground game is also really important. So Sho's primarily going to be staying on the ground with the way this matchup is played, and Yukari is mostly going to be in the air. So it's really going to be a test to see who has the most patience with staying in their comfort zone.
That honestly sounds like test of patience describes a lot of people against Yukari.
Yeah, she's that type of character. So here we go, game one.
Charm and Confusion are going to be probably the optimal elements here. Silence isn't going to do anything to shut down Sho's game plan. But like getting him under 25 or 50 meters is always good.
Yep.
Seals a lot of his options, particularly any attempts at using N-long from high-speed movement.
Here we go. Vader going in. It's knocked down in the corner.
And we all just okay. That 2C is questionable.
It's questionable. It happened.
That was a good use of high speed.
So here we go. Safe jump. So Sho, well, characters in general, but Sho is one of the ones that gives her a problem in this regard. The way Yukari's DP works, a lot of characters have ways to safely fade it out during their pressure while still maintaining pressure. Sho can jump back, do jump B, still connects on block, and it will bait the DP. So you might see that a bit from Vader. Here we go, bomb. 2-360 Oki. Goes for the cross up.
Two characters that are quite good at crossing you up and not when you would expect it. And cross-ups are, of course, perfectly unblockable.
Oh, no.
That's a very good use of high speed, and that was unfortunate.
That was definitely unfortunate. So earlier we were talking about how mobile Sho is. Using Yukari's feather arrows is a risk, but it's something you have to do. It controls a lot of space. It doesn't have too much recovery, but it has enough for Sho to get on, and you don't want him to get on.
See,
Nice
Fuzzy Jump just or fucking react with air throw will always be TC. Despite being +6 on block and fatal countering, it's also fatal recovery, so there's really no reason to let him get away with it.
Yep.
It's 33 frames of startup, and it is reactable.
So that was an unfortunate burst. He burst himself outside of Awakening. So
Yeah, and he DP'd just to put himself inside it.
but then he got hit. We're going into the corner again.
And Sho's meter is too goddamn high. We're not living.
Eesh. That's game one. So
I think
Vader
Silva,
up one.
you know, I think a lot of it is going to come down to Silva adapting to spacing.
Yep. He's going to quickly
He lost
have to
game one for
recognize.
236.
Yep. That's actually the reason why he lost.
It was just that. I think paying a bit more attention to Sho's meter would be wise.
Yeah, just paying attention to your opponent's meter in general is always
Well, yeah, that's a given, but particularly due to the ability for him to start suddenly closing gaps.
yeah, very quickly compared to a lot of other characters against
And
Yukari.
within.
Oh, this is, well, it was supposed to be a first to 5. Did they want to do a first to 3 instead?
Vader, we can't read Japanese. I can't.
I was going to just do first to fives until everyone got tired. Then I was gonna wind down and do first to threes. Since it's
Give them
easier
a
to
number
gather
of
data.
No, yeah, it's up to you. You have a good number of participants. But
It's just
close to
easier
5
to give
isn't
feedback
unreasonable.
with more matches, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, we're waiting for them to decide?
Oh. Well, I guess I could do that already. I didn't think about that. Or, do I have him added on this account? I don't. Shoot. Just go for now.
So right now it's one.
Luca,
Hi, by the way. I'm
Hi,
here.
Luca.
Hello.
you sound tired. TSB.
It was something. But I'm not here to talk about TSB right now. I'm here to talk about Sho versus Yukari.
Do you know anything about this matchup besides the times? Have you seen me play Bobby actually?
Nope.
Oh,
I do know that Sho has that EX Rekka move that lets him like get in for free. Hype.
yes.
He
That
does.
is a big issue at neutral. It's not free for sure, but it's definitely an issue.
Sorry, but I won't go easy.
Net plays Zukiko. So this is game 2.
Go, do it.
Honestly,
see if,
shout out to Vader for not being full net play.
Yeah, he's in our chat a lot.
I don't
was
agree with
able to
Dodge
tell him
there.
things.
See, this is why I don't like Dodge. I also don't agree with Silence.
Yeah. Like Sho doesn't have a persona. Silver should be going for Charm to get meter instead of silencing.
Particularly to seal off his 25 meter options. Or God
Usually-
forbid, 75 EX rushing, EX blazing moons or less.
Yep.
Nice
Usually
and
the
flat.
only time you want to use silence against Sho is towards the end of a round when you want to seal it out and you want to take away his burst. Or do
Oh, that's an
really burst
unfortunate
save.
flash.
I think Silver was gonna die from that.
Yeah.
Oh, Silver was absolutely going to die. That was it was the clash that preceded the combo. Oh, Silva is having difficulty reacting to the overhead.
It's definitely not easy, but Vader is doing it at a height where he has more time to react to it. So
He's not
He's not doing the car cancel.
yeah.
He's not doing
He
full
actually
cancel
cannot
overhead.
do that because of full tent.
Huh.
I mean, the other issue with the overhead is if he wants to remain safe, Rekka, you know, it's
Yeah.
not safe unless he does EX, it's final. So that's generally your cue to stand up.
Drop
Oh, dear.
auto combo.
Honestly,
Dropping
I-
jump boost.
I don't disagree with the
Oh,
use of the
oh.
combo. It's the most stable combo, and it gives you the optimal ailment.
I know,
Wow,
but
side
it's not good if you dropped it.
No.
So,
Then again, do you ever see, I don't want to talk. Okay, that's the issue with high speed movement, is that there is that recovery. And it is not involved
first,
frame lock.
Garla.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
That was good.
That was smart. And now he's an awakening with full
Moon
health.
Smasher. Everyone's special.
He doesn't even need Moon Smasher.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
just lands straight.
If he gets a throw,
That
yeah.
was really
That'll go.
important. Silva landed a DP. He should have.
Gone into Magarula.
He could have either done that or he could have spent the 100 meter to get an ailment and a knockdown. Just
I actually don't know how I feel about going for Magarilla off that TP. At the
I
range
think-
Silva was at. Because of the lack of post-flash info. Sho was fast enough to dash up 5A.
yeah. One of the
You
reasons
do it
though,
when he's in hit stun, and then he'll recover inside the tornado.
one of the reasons I also wouldn't recommend doing it against Vader is because I did explain to Vader how to deal with that. So I'm pretty sure unless he's just completely caught off guard by it, he's not going to get hit by DP Magarla. But
Yeah, there are ways around it.
so one of the things that Silva did that caused them to lose that match is when Sho gets in, his only focus seems to be to get away.
I came from the lobby.
Oh, you did? Oh, what?
Hmm?
Oh, you're gonna have to wait a second.
Rip.
But when Silva, it's one of the things I've noticed about Silva in general, and it's something of a habit for players that play neutral-centric characters. When the opponent gets in on them, their main goal is to just get away. They don't. They stop considering their opponent's options and focus entirely on getting away. And that's pretty much what happened to Silver there. He got hit. He was tagged by random hits because he was only focusing on getting away. He wasn't considering what Bader was doing to keep him there.
And he could have challenged things that Bader was doing.
Yeah, Ikari has a lot of fast buttons, so...
His defense is consists of block, look for an opening, as opposed to really being more reactionary.
Yeah.
Which is a habit, I think, among beginner to intermediate players. We just want to block.
No.
No, the fear of guessing wrong. I think I think you guys should have OMC'd that, bro. Or OMB to that would have been a fat combo. It's gonna take the combo anyway.
Again, first
that's
side of
unfortunate.
Awakening. He should DP himself into Awakening if he wins another hit. Like that one.
Yeah.
Or
I think Silva needs to be a bit more conscious of his health when he bursts.
Fortunately, Bader dropped the combo, but that's
Doesn't
something.
it reset?
Or that. But he's still dead.
Yeah.
So
I think Silva needs to focus more on solutions on defense as and challenging. There are things
yeah.
to get away problems with. Just a character like Sho is not going to do that. You need to be able to adjust for that.
You need is to allow you to away.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would think he's a year to better years. He tends to sit on a lot of it.
But he probably holds on to at this point is drop the habit of immediately going to Magala at neutral.
Honestly, I would just try to EX flip.
EX flip, yes,
EX
EX or
a lot of EX moves. But that would hinder Sho.
that again.
Onyx, you and your poverty stream.
I don't know what's going on. I've been streaming literally all week. That's actually messed up.
I haven't been able to any stream chat all week. Sucks.
Neither can I, so I'm glad it's the same. Brenton was asking me to post the chat, and I'm like, chat won't load.
Alright, first I'm going to stream these.
So is this a first to 3 or first to 5?
It's a first to 5. Vader's
Okay.
up to wait
Yeah, 3.
3.
He's up 3. He's 3 up right now. I don't
We should be now.
Okay. So right now it's 3-0 for Bader. I don't know if Silva's listening, but what we were talking about when the stream died was, and Omnix has said that Silva, and you talked to Silva about it, is one thing we mentioned was we'd like to see Silva put his meter to better use, because a lot of Yukari's EX moves would be quite helpful here. EX orbs, EX flip, being fully invuln. Even confusion would be probably very helpful as a surprise. And now, Omnix, you said that you've talked to Silva about it and he's trying to get out of the habit of just going straight for Magarula at neutral.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. And I totally understand. And we were we still on? We were on stream when we talked about defense, so I think we're good there.
Yeah, we were.
Okay, so right now it's 3-0, so we'll just see how it continues to play out.
All right. So.
I also actually don't know how much experience Silva has against Sho. I feel like Sho is. I'm not gonna say he's the worst opponent to run into, but he will definitely fuck you up if you don't know the matchup. Like, if you don't know what that character does and just how fast he is, it's gonna be a very fast character. It's not so much the explosive damage that Minazuki gets with meter, it's that he is always on you. And you have to know whether he's safe or not. Don't mash before sweep. Don't ever mash before sweep.
Instant
Okay.
block first hit, DP second hit. Go do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. It is Mdesilva only.
Sho sweep is gapless.
Damn.
Unfortunately.
That's why you cannot mash before sweep. No, what Sho doesn't have in cancel options compared to Minazuki, he makes up for in better frame data. So yeah, up to sweep, it's block string. You mash, you will mash out of the block stun, and you will just get CH'd, and you will be very sad.
Very,
Oh.
very sad.
Yeah, this is a character who actually does like arena level damage generally on normal hit even. He doesn't, suddenly do 7k with 50 meter or something like that. But
You
That
just
was a
mashed
really
something.
important hit.
that was very good. Finally, Silva's air throwing him out of the 2C. And her air throw doing the damage it does on a character with Sho's HP, that's devastating.
Moon.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You
There
cannot
goes half
beat
their
this
health.
character.
Sorry about
But
that.
it's okay. He has no meter to work with.
He doesn't. He's down to very low health. Silva has 25 meter and can absolutely make something happen.
Yup.
Nice.
There you
Yeah.
go.
They did that roll. So, her C moves are in projectiles. I don't know why they're not projectiles, but
Because
they're
that
not.
would be terrible.
Really?
You know how this is
Okay,
B
can
move is a
we-
projectile?
I'm gonna focus on the matching. You can have your little argument, domestic squirrel, whatever. Okay, that was 3k. And into the corner we go. Silva not mashing.
Wow.
There are
Silva
gaps in
making-
there.
Okay, Silva actually taking a more aggressive stance on defense. Silva is actually.
Gotcha, jump startup, but it's no
Adapt-
confirmed.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's also unfortunate.
Again,
Okay.
outside of
DP.
Awakening,
DP
one
is
thing
over.
he's going to have to learn to do.
I think it's something where he really needs to look at it at the HUD more. Okay, super
Oh, no.
I'll know that with.
So, Yukari. Funny thing about Yukari's SB bomb, if you use SB bomb and you trigger both bombs, the duration is so bad afterwards that you actually can't do a super cancel.
That's the same deal with Aegis's 5A into JTB, actually. That's why that combo is so finicky. You can't hit with all three grenades, or the proration will force tap. Believe it or not. Your struggle is not alone.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Melee.
okay.
Oh, I
That
thought
is just outside of Awakening, and thanks Vader for putting him in there.
But he might die.
Silva has no
He's
burst,
dead.
so this
He's down.
is bad. This is
Uh-oh.
this is the DP.
this is
Drops.
Silva's making a stand. Okay, that was actually a decent use of dodge. I'm actually not. Okay, yeah, and that is the problem with Sho.
That would have been a time to pop Magrala, but just to get a
Force it.
reaction out of him.
The problem with Sho, if you play a character that likes to put hitboxes on screen, is how quickly he can just blow through them. if you are paying close attention to his meter and what he's capable of doing. And then suddenly, oops, you're caught in recovery.
Aw,
Silva's
Macarla
been
didn't
doing
come
a
out.
lot of 5C, 2C, JC, like JD stuff, but I think that he should try to go for more throws or tick throws and more throw baits. He hasn't been doing that a lot.
That's actually one of the problems that Yukari players have in general. There's So you guys understand how her 5D and her jump D are really plus, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of frame advantage on them. Because of that, a lot of Yukari players, JP, US, whatever, have the habit of immediately going to JD and 5D during pressure. But she has other options. She has good frame data.
+1 5A, good job.
+1 5A, that's gone next game.
Thank you.
But it won't matter. Her 5A is still really good. Her 2As are good. Her 5C is great for frame traps, for catching fuzzies. She has a dash cancel after 5C. She can use Magaru during her pressure. She has sweep. She has hop cancels like everyone else. She has a lot to work with during her offense.
Oh, misses the combo. That was a big damage. 5C starter.
I think Yukari is a character, and Omnix, you tell me if I'm correct in my assessment, where autopilot is a huge problem.
Autopilot is a huge problem with everyone.
Yes, but I'm saying specifically her.
With the way her
she
neutral works, autopilot is really bad for this game.
But I'm saying I think because of how difficult, or because of how she goes about hit confirms and all that, I think it's. I've seen. This is a tendency I've noticed.
The way there's a very specific way you have to structure your pressure and your approach to make sure that you still have an advantage and you can confirm all these straight hits. It's really hard to get in the habit of doing that, but
Oh no.
See, this is unfortunate because after he did that high speed movement, he canceled into Rekka, and Silva
Nice
could have jumped back, reacted, done something, you know, to deal with because the Rekka whiffed, and Silva could have punished. That situation was Vader getting away with murder.
yeah. So one big problem in this matchup that I don't think
Ooh, negative already? Wow. That seems fast.
one of the big problems I was going to mention with this matchup is I don't think Silva has recognized the fact that Sho can consistently run under her arrows.
No.
If you don't do your arrow at the lowest possible height with jump B, he will run under it. And he will run under 5B if I'm not mistaken, but that's it.
5-0 Vader. There were some nice adjustments by Silva at the end. I think it's just mostly an issue of matchup unfamiliarity, as well as some player issues. Not issues per se, but just general things that everybody's got their own stack to work on.
Yeah, everyone does. That's
some
the
people
point
start
of
out
this.
stronger on offense or defense than others, and that's fine. That's whatever. But it's just building everything up. But that was a good set.
The important thing, like you said, is there were adjustments. That's the thing we want to see more than anything else. Whether you close out the round or not, it's very important to gain the ability to adjust as the matches go on. So
I'd also like to say both of them were not playing net play, so that was also nice to see.
yeah, that was nice.
Nobody
That's
lost
not
for.
There was one.
There was one AOA, and you know what? I mean, if it's the last thing they expect, I'm gonna call it valid. But again, if Silva had just had more matchup familiarity, I don't think that would have happened.
Yeah, because Silva does know combos. He does know his Yukari stuff. He just needs to iron out some things. And his biggest problem, I would say, is just the lack of matchup familiarity. he hasn't been playing a lot of our better players very often. So
He would probably get more out of 5 matches with base than 150 with, anyone he runs into online.
yeah, so he really needs to get into the habit of just asking for matches from the better players. Just find the time to get some matches, ask for feedback, and you'll do fine. Like,
And
you're
Silva, I
already
know
doing
that you feel uncomfortable with being spotlighted as a Yukari player, but you are, and I mean, we've talked privately and stuff. I mean, I don't think, and I don't think anyone else thinks that you're in any way a bad player. It's some of it is just matchup knowledge, some of it is just, little things on defense that are easier for everyone else to see than for you. Things like, I mean, I can just say this, like a Shabris, I honest to God know the exact pixel at which I'm at 35%. And I am pulling the trigger on that burst if you're not baiting it. I know exactly when I'm going into Awakening because 8.5k, 8k, like we're not that different, and comeback potential, I mean, for Yukari is also high. That's just one of those things where you've got to internalize that tiny little detail about your character, because even though it doesn't seem like the biggest thing, you have to know when you're going into Awakening, because a character like Sho is much more difficult to chance a DP against because of how Yukari's DP works. In a lot of ways, like you don't want, if you try to like DP full screen, he is a character that can rush up to you and clobber you for it. So that's something really important for this matchup, is actually bursting correctly. Silva, a lot of it, I think you just got caught by some overheads that you didn't quite know where they were, but again, there were a lot of really good adjustments. You got the fatal counter air throw on 2C, which was nice. Like, that was a really good adjustment. Silva, there really isn't any one specific thing holding you back. I know you have expressed publicly, some of your anxiety about being spotlighted as a player, but you're not bad. Silva, you really aren't. It's okay. No one is looking at you like you have to win. We're all looking at you like you're solid, and you have the knowledge and the willingness to listen and to adapt and to try, and you're working with the right people, and you're solid already, and you can become even stronger, and that's all we want to see. No one is trying to put pressure on you, though.
Now for Bader, there were a few things I did want to say. Bader has a habit of really holding forward and running into things at neutral. I would
Stop doing that, Bader.
Yes, stop doing that.
Don't ever use AOA again.
Don't ever
your
use AOA again.
is okay. This is the one nice thing about your AOA. Your character runs a lot in this matchup. It almost kind of sort of looks like you running around as per. It really doesn't, though. To anyone who knows the animation, it's fatal recovery, and my character just kills you for it in one blow. You will actually die, Bader. And it is 40 frames of startup when you cross through. That is 2/3 of a second. No one's getting hit by that. So, you know what? I'm just gonna quote culpable here. You must demonstrate your right to use the AB buttons. You do not get those buttons by default. You need to earn them. That being said, there was one over the course of like 5 games, so it could have, for all I know, it was an input error that was meant to be sweep or something, or EX, whatever. That's fine. Like, I'm not trying to ride you super hard, but AOA in general, kids, we've all said this before, not good.
AOA has very specific uses, and it's not being used for them.
I also want to say Bader was relying on the EX Rekka overhead a lot, and he wasn't doing the car cancel version. And I mean, Silva got hit by it, but I don't think like someone's gonna get hit by that too often online. Something I wanted to see him do was the first Rekka OMC into a low, because that really works even offline. It's dumb. He was using...
Whether or not Silva gets hit by it, I am happy that he is using the meter on that third Rekka, because without the meter, you can't... Rekka is unsafe without the third being EX. That is where you get mashed out. That is...
Yeah, I know. But I
So-
just wanted to say
Oh
that,
yeah,
like,
I agree with you that it shouldn't. He needs I think Bader varying your pressure and finding different applications for your meter maybe.
You don't want to get stuck in a rhythm, which I feel is one of the things you do when you start your offense. You kind of have this habit of recognizing that one thing works and you stick to it, and you're not really adjusting to how your opponent is dealing with your choices. So you have a lot of options. I didn't see very many run-up 2As from you. It's something you could do. You weren't enforcing the threat of a throw, and
You
Did
also did when you landed a throw, you never OMC'd or OMB'd, and I believe at one point when you landed a throw, I believe the OMB combo would have killed. I mean, I know I said this before. Unlike Minazuki, the damage is not going to suddenly be, oh, you just ate 6k, because he had 50 or 100 meter. But against a low health character like Yukari, like Shabris, for example, your OMB throw combo will kill us outside Awakening very easily.
Yeah.
So I would, and one of the dangers of using throws, and this is something I've noticed from a lot of players since the OS meta became more prominent, is a lot of people are going for throws and pressure, and that's great. And Sho's ground throw and air throw do huge damage. My ground throw does 780. Granted, I get a meterless combo, but whatever. But you know, it's 780 damage, which is low as hell. And Sho gets, you know, ridiculous damage off a ground throw. That being said, one thing I would like to see people be more cognizant of is if you land a throw and you don't OMC, OMB into the throw combo, one, you are returned to neutral. I mean, you'll be on top of your opponent with Sho because of where they tech. I guess we'll throw them all the way to the other side of the screen, whatever. But you may actually put them into Awakening with 35% health. So when you are going for a throw, it's important to know how to confirm it into damage, because you don't want to land throw and then see your opponent have 35% health and Awakening because you threw them. That's actually you doing them a favor.
Yeah, you don't want to put your opponent into Awakening without having them use their burst.
Yeah, they can't burst the throw, and then the throw's done, and they're like, cool, I'm in Awakening, I just got a free 50 meter and my defensive bonus, and I still have my burst. Thanks! I've actually said this to people when they've done it to me. So Bader, I with your offense, I think you get the character, you get his movement, vary your pressure, maybe try to get more damage off certain confirms. One thing I will say, you did have really good use of EX high-speed movement. The one time you did cancel out the recovery with Rekka, but that Rekka whiffed. Just maybe being slightly more aware of your spacings. Again, it's a matchup issue. It's whatever, but mostly it goes back to your offense. You have to enforce the threat.
Yeah, you have to recognize the fact that you're playing against another player. The biggest way you get an advantage is, the biggest way you keep an advantage is once you get it, you press it while acknowledging the decision making on the part of your opponent. You have to be able to recognize the decisions that they're making, whether it's on the offense and defense, and you need to adapt to it. So just keep that in mind. Don't hold forward.
Bader, I'd also like to see you learn a block string, because your pressure, your mix-up, and your block string were all the same.
Yeah, you just pretty much did the same thing, and eventually Silva would get hit, like around the third or fourth time you went for something. So
And that's fine, but what makes Sho scary is that his mix-up is ridiculous.
his mix-up is obnoxious.
It's obnoxious, it's
Stupid
ridiculous, it's left-right. He can space himself incredibly well to bait out reversals to prevent 2A, 5A mash.
His 5A is active enough to where there are chances of it clashing with a DP on his offense.
Yeah, his 4A and his 2A are really good buttons. You know, I mean, Sho has very good mix-up, and you know, just varying it more will. The thing is in this case, Silva got hit. If Silva didn't get hit, then you spent 25 meter, 100 meter cooldown, and your pressure string ended, and you would have had to reset pressure, Bader, if Silva hadn't gotten hit by the EX Rucka overhead. But most people, let's say someone who doesn't get hit, okay, then what? If all they're looking for is okay, and then he's gonna do, and then I just stand block EX overhead and I'm done. They're out. They don't have to do anything, and that what you need to do is vary your strings so that people actually don't know what you're going to do, because your character is crazy like that, and that's when people get scared, and that's when you can catch a mash or a terrible decision to try to OS. Sho is actually really terrifying to fuzzy jump against, if anyone has ever tried it.
Sho and Minazuki. Beware.
Yeah, like
Danger.
I said before, don't jump, don't mash before sweep. His Sho sweep, unlike Minazuki's, is in fact gapless. Like, you will get fucked. You need to enforce the threat of the fact that your character shits on certain defensive option selects and makes it very, very scary for your opponent to hit a button.
Don't
rather-
make your combo, your block string, your reset. They should not all be the same thing.
You need to vary what you do in response to the way your opponent is selecting their options. Just keep that in mind. Do your
Yeah.
research and get a better understanding of what your character can do on offense.
And on that, this is going to be my last note. On that note of offense with 2C specifically, I don't know if it was an attempted car cancel. I don't know, Bader, if you were trying to go over a throw or a low or something. Yukari's 5A being a low. That is a move that you want to use sparingly. I know it's +6 on block. It's also 33 frames of startup, and even in 0 bar, you're gonna get air thrown every
You
time.
will get air thrown.
It is an incredibly obvious animation. It does not look similar to his J2C, at all. And that's really a move where I mean, like, this is just a design flaw where I know it fatal counters, but it's also fatal recovery. So if you eat a fatal air throw combo, particularly in this matchup, your opponent's air throw does huge damage just on normal hit. You're losing easily 20% of your health. So just something